In this video, we want to review how composition of functions works, what it is, and how to work with functions doing composition. So first, the notation is f circle g of x. That's one of the notations for composition, the operation of composing two functions, as opposed to adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing. Now, what that means, f circle g, the circle operation, is that we're actually going to plug the g of x function into the f function. Okay, so we actually compute f of g of x. And to see this in action and to review a little bit about just functions in general, let's consider the following two functions here. F of x equals 2x squared minus 5x, and g of x equals 7x minus 2. And we're going to do a little bit of things, particularly composition, but a few other things as well, just to kind of review functions. So first, let's just look at the problem f of negative 4. This is not a composition, we're just evaluating the function here. So remember, the way that works is we're going to go in and replace the variable everywhere we see it with the number negative 4. So I have 2 times negative 4 squared minus 5 times negative 4. Now be careful here and remember your order of operations. Before I can multiply by 2 there, I have to take negative 4 and square it. So negative 4 squared would be 16, and then I'd have 2 times 16, and then minus 5 times minus 4 would be plus 20, and then we simplify. 2 times 16 is 32, plus 20, we get the answer of 52. The answer of 52. Let's look at a second example here. This time we want to do f of g of 3. So here we do have a composition, f circle g of 3. So what we need to do before I can work out f is I need to know, what am I putting into f? Well, I'm putting g of 3. So g is the function 7x minus 2. So I work out g of 3 first. So I go to my g function, plug in 3 for the variable. I get 7 times 3 minus 2, so it's f of 7 times 3 minus 2. And we simplify. 7 times 3 is 21, minus 2 is 19. So we need to do f of 19 at this point. And we do that just like we did with the negative 4. We're going to go into the f function, and everywhere we see the variable, we replace it with 19. So we get 2 times 19 squared minus 5 times 19. And then we just work that out and see what that's going to be. And that's something where you can just plug it into a calculator and get an answer pretty easily of 627. Now that we've kind of looked at a little bit at what composition is, we've reviewed how to evaluate functions, let's actually do a full-blown composition problem. So let's, instead of f of g of some number, what if I just want to do f of the whole function g? So I want to come up with a new function that, instead of just plugging in 3 like we did in 2 steps here, I want to be able to do it in 1 step. And I want to be able to do it for any number. So my advice, a lot of people have no problem plugging numbers into functions, but when I ask you to start plugging variables in, it sometimes throws some people off. So my advice, if you're having any trouble at all, is to write it down with a bunch of blanks. It's f of g of x, so write f of blank equals, and everywhere you see the variable, put a big old blank there. 2 blank squared minus 5 blank. And then what we want to do is fill in the blanks with what g of x is equal to in this case, and we simplify. And we simplify. So g of x is equal to 7x minus 2. Now I'm going to rewrite this so it's clear how everything flows. But in practice, there's no reason to rewrite it. Just fill in the blanks with that 7x minus 2 up above. So we fill in the blanks. F of 7x minus 2 equals 2 times 7x minus 2, quantity squared, minus 5 times 7x minus 2. And then we simplify. 7x minus 2 is squared. Be careful. This is red. It's red because it's wrong. Okay, a very common mistake that people will make is to try and square the 7x and the 2. You get 49x squared minus 4. So this is not correct. Caution, don't do that. Okay, you cannot do that. It's really common, it's so easy to slip into, and we can't do it though. What we have to remember with that 7x minus 2 squared is that we have to multiply it times itself. So we'll have 2 times 7x minus 2 times 7x minus 2 minus 5 times 7x minus 2. And then we can go ahead at this point and start to multiply. So I would go ahead and multiply out my 7x minus 2's. So I would do 7x times 7x would be 49x squared. Then I'm going to have a 7x and a minus 2 will be a minus 14. And then another 7x and minus 2 will give us a second minus 14, which will combine to give us minus 28. And then minus 2 times minus 2 is positive 4. Now don't forget we still have to multiply that by 2, which we'll do in a moment. And then we also distribute the 5 through. All right, 5 times 7x will be minus 35x, and then don't forget that's a negative 5 times a negative 2 makes that plus 10. Makes that plus 10. And so then we just continue to simplify here. We multiply through by 2. 2 times 49 is 98x squared. 2 times 28 is minus 56x. 2 times 4 is plus 8. And then we still have the minus 35 and the plus 10 left there. And then we can finally put this problem to rest by combining the few like terms that we have. 98x squared has nothing, but when we do minus 56 and minus 35x, we get a negative 91x or minus 91x, and 8 and 10 is 18. And so finally now we've put this problem down to rest. And that's how we do composition.